Well, we're headed off on a tour of the city, but we're going to be talking about Buster Posey and John Lynch. But I think these two tie together, at least in theory, both presidents of Bay Area teams. Sam's great Middle Eastern food. There's Anthony Bourdain. There's Sam. Leaving here in North Beach. Let's get the ride really, really quickly. It is waiting for us, and I don't think it's going to be waiting for us much longer. Should unlock. Yes, they have unlocked. It is going to greet me. Card was getting impatient, but I have made it in. Good little night show. It's 73 degrees in San Francisco right now, which is really, really pleasant for this time of the evening, but it was over 90 degrees in the city today. So just one of those days. Indian summer, they call it. We're gonna have a cool destination today at the end of this 49ers ride. And I got the light on, so we're good. I'm getting a lot better at that. Starting the show, getting in the car, we are rolling. Yes, Brock Purdy is elite. That's what Tommy Huxley says in the comment section. So is this car. We're gonna be where we're going to in 21 minutes. And oh, nice. We're gonna make the light and enter the Broadway tunnel. Hopefully we maintain reception here. The tunnel's only going to take about 20 seconds, but I'll give you guys the view as we go through the tunnel. Here you go. Looks like we're applying the brakes. Car might be a little afraid of the tunnel, a little sketched out. There have been times when I've walked through this tunnel late at night because I used to live on the other side of it. This is the sidewalk. As you can see, there's a chance that wouldn't be the most pleasant walk. Computer enthusiast says, take me to the Super Bowl. That's where this car is headed. We're on our way to the Super Bowl through the Broadway tunnel. And we are kind of accelerating, slowing down, accelerating, slowing down. I don't know if the AI is completely ready to go through tunnels. So we might get past here in a second. Yeah, we're about to get past. We're not going very fast. We're keeping it at 20 miles an hour. Look, it's a guy walking. He's walking through the tunnel. Amazing. Maybe he's watching the channel. That would be a trip if he was watching as we passed him. All right, we're almost at the end. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. All right, you could speed up now. We can go more than 20. We're out of the tunnel. Please, come on. Well, it's a red light. So this is something they need to improve, is the tunnel mechanics of these cars. All right, so the Giants, they just hired Buster Posey to be their president of baseball operations. So the top baseball executive for the Giants. And I've heard some of the criticism is, he doesn't have a lot of executive experience in the sport of baseball. Well, guess who didn't have executive experience in the sport of football? John Lynch. And John Lynch has been a wildly successful story for the 49ers. He's one of the best general managers in all of football, no question about it. I mean, the 49ers have created an organization that is the envy of, I think, the rest of the league as far as the organizational structure of the team goes. Oh my God, look, red light running? Yeah, we were in their intersection. That doesn't count. It's not a... You guys still... You guys still hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. If it's coming through good. Thought I might have lost you for a bit. Okay, good. It's still working. So the 49ers are the envy of the league as far as organizational structure goes, as far as culture goes in the locker room. They've been able to pay more players high-priced contracts than anybody else in the league. They've really built a nice operation. And that's been under John Lynch's guidance as general manager. And he doesn't get quite enough credit for the stabilizing presence that he has brought the 49ers building. The day-to-day operations of a football team happen in an intense pressure cooker. A lot of emotion can take hold. coaches get really, really sucked into the minutia of different plays, of designing game plans, of, trying to figure out how to get an edge on the football field. It is extremely important for a football team and a football organization to maintain a big picture view. And I think that's where John Lynch is so valuable for the 49ers inside their building. There have been many instances that I've heard of, and I'm not going to get into specifics because I'm not going to blow anybody's cover. This is just stuff that people talk about that happens within the 49ers building. But there have been many instances where John Lynch's stabilizing presence, his demeanor, his ability to see the big picture, his ability to be above the fray has kept the 49ers afloat, has kept the 49ers sailing forward through rough waters. Because the rough waters are inevitable. So are you going to have somebody who can be that guiding hand when things do get tough? And I think that the main thing about Lynch is he came in without any football executive experience, but because of that, he was smart enough to delegate. And what's the first thing that Buster Posey said today? He's going to delegate. He's going to bring in a personnel guy who's going to have the GM title for the Giants. He wants to bring in other people to help him for this job. One of the first things that John Lynch did when he took over as the 49ers GM in 2017 was bring in Adam Peters. The Adam Peters story is a really, really good one. John Lynch was friends with John Elway. And this ties into the Buster Posey story as well, because John Elway was a Hall of Famer, a two-time Super Bowl champion for the Denver Broncos, and he became their lead personnel executive, just like Buster Posey, three-time World Series winner for the San Francisco Giants, has become the president there. So anyway, John Lynch over in Denver, he was friends with, John Elway over in Denver was friends with John Lynch. So he invited John Lynch to go sit in on some of their draft meetings, sit in on some of their prospect evaluation scouting meetings. And one of the Denver staffers at the time in the scouting department was Adam Peters. So John Lynch actually just randomly happened to be seated next to Adam Peters during some of these meetings, and he developed that relationship with Adam Peters. So then when Lynch was hired by Kyle Shanahan as the 49ers general manager in 2017, he thought of Adam Peters, that really smart guy that he sat next to in the room at Denver when he was sitting in on the John Elway-led draft meetings. And he decided to hire Adam Peters to the 49ers. Also credit in that situation to John Elway for allowing the 49ers to hire away Adam Peters and leave his contract with the Denver Broncos. So he allowed for that upward mobility. Long story short, as we're about to pass San Francisco City Hall, looks like Warriors colors tonight. Their training camp is starting. There it is. Looking good on this beautiful night in San Francisco. But the long story short is that Adam Peters was hired as the general manager of the Washington Commanders this past season. And obviously, he was the right pick by John Lynch to help him with the 49ers. It was good delegation from John Lynch back in 2017. And it looks like the start in Washington has gone well for Adam Peters, too. So now you look at what Posey's doing, and he's got to bring in similarly qualified people to help him run the Giants. And if Buster Posey is able to do that, then I think that he could see the same type of success that John Lynch has had with the 49ers. Being a CEO means you have to be humble enough to delegate. You have to say, I can't do it all. I can't be a control freak. I have to delegate responsibility. So if you're John Lynch, you let Kyle Shanahan run the coaching staff, but you also let your personnel guys do what they need to do. And you also let your strength and conditioning guys do what they need to do. So I think that former top-level athletes are good at delegating, because the guys that have won championships, and John Lynch won championships, obviously, Buster Posey won championships, John Elway won championships. If to win a title in team sports, you have to have not just leadership capabilities, but you have to have understanding that leadership works within a team structure. And understanding that leadership works within a team structure means that you are comfortable delegating responsibilities to other individuals. So the case of Elway saw the Denver Broncos win a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. He was able to draw Peyton Manning over. The case of John Lynch, I think we've seen great delegation, and the 49ers have been on the doorstep of multiple Super Bowl wins. They obviously haven't kicked the door down, but that's the next thing that John Lynch is trying to do. And I think that he has the 49ers well positioned to make another good run at it this year. And we'll see if Buster Posey. Brock Purdy and Buster Posey, I mean, there are some similarities there as far as demeanor goes, by the way. So it wouldn't surprise me if Brock Purdy won a few Super Bowls with the 49ers and then turned to an NFL executive career down the road. Maybe he could follow the John Elway path. But anyway, when we look at Buster Posey, he executed this as a player for the Giants, and those were teams that were centered around multiple players, not just a couple individuals. So he was putting on the signals as the catcher. He was the conduit between Bruce Bochy and the guys on the field. I think he understands delegating responsibility. He understands leadership structure, and I think he could be a good CEO for the Giants, because this is all about being a CEO, right? This is all about being able to be at the top of the hierarchy and not get lost in the weeds, so you could keep a team stable through the rough waters. And John Lynch done such a great job for the 49ers of that. So I see the parallels between Lynch and Buster Posey and somebody like John Elway. And I'm going to be fascinated to see how this works from a business standpoint, because these days sports are business. And they're a different type of business than some as far as the details go. At the end of the day, you do have to make money. But the way to capture the profits in sports are to create a bond with the fans. And to create a bond with the fans, you have to build a quality team, because what a quality team does is they make memories for the fans. And Buster Posey said that today. He said, we are in the memory-making business. Think of all the memories that the 49ers have been able to create over the past 8 years under Lynch and Shanahan. Yeah, they haven't won a Super Bowl yet, but they certainly have created a lot of memories, and that's a lot more than almost every other team in the league can say. So obviously they've got one more step to go to completely validate this whole process, but you can see why a lot of the league wishes they were in the 49ers' shoes, why a lot of the league wishes that John Lynch was their general manager, and why the 49ers want to hang on to him. There's a lot of online trolling and a lot of online negativity, but it doesn't really understand the business aspect and the business thinking and the business approach that John Lynch is able to bring as an executive to the 49ers, and what the Giants hope that Buster Posey is able to bring to them. All right, I promised a Christian McCaffrey update in the headline. Christian is doing better and better every day. The 49ers are optimistic. I think even Trent Williams talked about it today. He's very optimistic about Christian McCaffrey, who's also spoken to the running back. The vacuum that most of the media, which is not connected in this situation, is facing seems to be driving that portion of the media crazy. But just because they don't have information on this Christian McCaffrey situation doesn't mean that they should just be making stuff up or recycling stuff that John Lynch already said several days ago, such as the bilateral Achilles tendonitis. The bottom line is that Achilles tendonitis is an inflammatory condition, so if there is inflammation in the Achilles, the only rational course of action is to slow down the workload on the player. McCaffrey took care of the inflammation with his rest, and then with what Ian Rappaport reported was PRP treatment in Germany. The 49ers are ramping him up this week. If he continues to handle the ramp-up process well, he'll be back much sooner than you might expect. That being said, the 49ers would be smart probably to play this as cautiously as possible. And the schedule works out that there's a bye week around Halloween. So if you look at early November, the first game back from that bye week is against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's one I would circle on your calendars as something that could be a strategic play for the 49ers if everything continues going well with Christian McCaffrey. So this is, I mean, that's what we can say for right now. I don't think even Christian knows exactly when he's going to be back, or the 49ers know exactly when he's going to be back, because every day runs the risk of the inflammation returning. It's just the reality of the situation. So you have to take the I don't know part of this and be comfortable with it, and the 49ers are, because they have Jordan Mason on the team, and he's number 2 in the NFL in rushing yards. He's number 3 in the NFL in rushing yards over expectation. Only Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry are ahead of Jordan Mason in rushing yards over expectation. So the 49ers have a hell of a backup. They have the luxury, as I've been saying all along, of not having to rush Christian McCaffrey back. And when he does return, it's going to be a hell of a boost to this 49ers offense. The one thing that they're truly not doing as well this season as they did before is red zone offense. They're at about 50% conversion rate. They're middle of the pack. They led the league with a 68% touchdown rate in the red zone last year. Christian McCaffrey spaces the field so well. We know that he's got a Steph Curry-like gravitational force. If we're going to be comparing Bay Area sports and we're talking about John Lynch and Buster Posey, well, let's bring in the Warriors and talk about Steph Curry, who Kyle Shanahan has compared to Christian McCaffrey. He gets defensive attention. He gets guys to step toward him. It's like a big planet that has a gravitational pull. It's going to pull moons and even other planets toward it. All of that has created a situation where the impact of players like Steph Curry and Christian McCaffrey are greater than just that one player's potential scoring ability. Their impact can draw defenders to them that open up, and that opens up other portions of the field. So I think that the red zone where everything is constricted is where the 49ers are missing McCaffrey the most. By the way, we're about to make a turn here by the 500 Club, legendary bar. Speaking of the 500 Club, I remember when Barry Bonds hit his 500th career home run to join the 500 Club. Now we're going to turn onto Dolores Street. We're headed to a real view here in San Francisco. We've crossed a lot of the city, actually, over the course of this one ride. I was hoping we would turn on Dolores, but we won't, so I'll just show you guys the palm trees from the car. Go ahead and include some of your questions here. I'll answer some of them over the next few minutes. Dolores is awesome because it's lined with palm trees up and down the whole thing, like for a couple miles. We got the green light. And there they are.
Almost there. Don't forget your phone, keys, or bag.
All right, I'm ready for your questions here before I get out of the car. I don't know. Oh, it's pulling me over. Oh, I went to the wrong intersection. No, I should have gone to 20th Street. This is terrible. I wish I could change the destination. That's tough. Well, I've got to get out and we'll walk from here. That's rough. I wanted to go to the very top of the park. I went to 18th and Church instead of 20th and Church, and I paid the price for my stupidity. Oh well, we'll get out now. Give me a second. Flip this around for you. We'll continue our walk as the train goes by. Look. All right. So now I have to walk uphill while I have you guys on the line here. It's not going to be as fun as driving up that steep hill in front of me, but sometimes you deal with it. No, I did not tip the robot. Somebody's accusing me of not tipping. I think I could probably tip through my app, but not going to do that. All right, there he goes. I guess I could have gotten on that train for one stop. Could have taken me up the hill. If I was thinking quicker on my feet, I would have gotten on the train. But I wasn't thinking on my feet, so here I am, having to use my feet to walk up a hill in the park. All right, we need some questions. I need some prompts to be able to talk as I'm walking up the hill. Here it is. There's Casper. Don't run me over after you just gave me a ride across the whole city. That's where I was sitting. Right there. Now it's completely empty. What to expect for the defense without Fred Warner? I think they're going to have Fred Warner. Is there some indication that they won't? I mean, Fred Warner is the best defensive player in football, so I honestly think that the 49ers would be a lot worse without him. We saw them without him in the second half last week, and I think one of the best successes for the 49ers was that they were able to keep up the good play even without Fred Warner. We're going to walk. Let's walk this way. This is going to be better than walking through the middle of the park. We're going to cross this bridge to get a nice view of the city. I'm getting a second workout today. I swam in the bay. Now I have to walk up this steep hill. Any word on Brown? Jair Brown? He wasn't hurt, so he's fine. You guys are asking really bad questions today. Okay, what week will Greenlaw be back? I would say around mid-season, but I don't think that's firm right now. We don't know about Talanoa Hufanga quite yet. Talanoa Hufanga turned his ankle, so he was out last week. Tested it out before the game. I would think things would be better this week, but I'm headed to practice tomorrow. No, there's no realistic chance the 49ers get Devontae Adams. Anybody who's talking about that is selling you snake oil. Don't listen to them. Rumors are ridiculous. So I'm taking you guys to the park here. We got to get a little bit higher up though. I'm going to take you guys across the bridge up there. Just wait for this. You're going to get a nice payoff with this view. How do you get a source? How does that work? That's the question. Well, you develop relationships. You hang around the building and you do a good job. People develop relationships just like you would in any walk of life. Then that's your source. Somebody's asking me, is there any reason I'm wandering around at night besides the view? Well, it's a nice night out and I'm heading home from swimming and dinner. And I figured I'd take you guys on my trip, even though my ride stopped a block short. So I'm having to walk up this really steep hill. But it's all good. We're almost there. You live and you learn from your mistakes, and my legs will be stronger because of this. All right, almost there. Almost there. So this is the bridge. We can go by the statue, but we can also go one more block up and we'll get the very best view. It's not quite as steep here, so I'll go back to the sidewalk. I'm ready for more questions. Let's go. If somebody's saying nice view, just wait. Just give it about a minute. and we'll be where we need to be. I hear a lot of music. There are a lot of people out tonight. It's nice and warm. Do I think that Purdy's deal gets done way faster than these other ones? Well, the thing with Purdy is they can actually extend him after the regular season ends. I would not be surprised if the 49ers were able to get that done earlier, because the market for Purdy is going to be the market for Purdy. Dak has already signed his deal. Purdy's going to be in the 60s if he stays healthy. He's already shown that he's an elite quarterback. There's going to be no reason to mess around with this. And I don't, Brandon Ayuk caused his deal to drag on as long as it did. He was obviously being very uncooperative. So I just don't see Brock Purdy doing the same thing. And at the quarterback position, which is so much more important to the success of a team, the 49ers are also incentivized to get that done much sooner. So yes, I think that will be done sooner. All right, guys, sneak peek at the view. It's about to get good. And we'll finish our show with the view as soon as I cross over here. We are on Church Street. Samuel asks if the 49ers are going to go after another defensive lineman at the trade deadline. I would not be surprised. They've done that a lot. Jordan Willis in 2020. Chase Young last season. The 49ers love trading for some defensive linemen at the deadline. That has become common practice for this football team. You could get even higher than this park if you go up this hill. I think Mark Zuckerberg lives around here somewhere. But our grand reveal is coming soon. Wanted to give you guys a shot of the train in the city here. That's iconic San Francisco right there. Yeah, Zuckerberg lives on 21st Street, I believe. So very close to here. Oh God, it's a two-car train. It's gonna take this one forever to pass. All right, there we go. Say goodbye to the train. Make sure another one doesn't hit me. I turned my camera just to make sure there wasn't one coming the other way. And here we go. The very top of Dolores Park. I got off 2 blocks too early, but I walked them because I love you guys. I wanted to show you the scene. So that is it. I have to step away from people. I don't like blaring on about the 49ers when I'm too close to other people. I don't want to disturb them on their nice night here at the park. Look at that. You can see all the way back to downtown. So the Waymo, the driverless car, took us from those buildings out in the distance in the middle, through all that area, all the way to here, where this train is coming up the hill. That's the J line at Dolores Park. So wanted to share that with you. Wanted to talk about Lynch, talk about Posey, who is now the president of the Giants. And that is it. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Let's get that view in the background just to prove that I'm here. All right, guys, have a good night.